Hello, everyone. I am so sorry that I had to jump out and jump back in because all of my audio and camera was disconnected. So I absolutely apologize. Let me let everyone know that I had to restart and then we're going to get started, okay? Um, Let me let them know. So hopefully you have found me and can still join me. Let's see here if I can figure that out. How to get folks over here. Let's see. Um, hmm. I'm going to. Hey Jen, hey Natasha. Okay, y'all found me. Thank you. Please spread the word because there was so many people on, and I feel terrible, but I could not. I don't know why it would not let me turn my camera or my mic on. Very strange. Thank you, Jen. I appreciate you sending it out. And then I'm going to do my absolute best to send it out to um my folks that are on my list. So let's see. Okay, thank you, Jen, for sending this link so I could actually find it. I think this is technology for you sometimes. I just do not understand why it would not let me start my camera. It's the strangest thing, y'all. Thank you, Jen. Okay, so I'm going to pass on that. Let's see here. I got to find my actual channel. And please like, subscribe, share, get the word out. I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you, Jen and Natasha, for holding your girl down because I do not like when things are not working out properly. So hopefully I'm going to give people some time to come back in the room. We're going to get started here in just a moment. And I'm going to switch accounts. You know how it is when you're trying to do multiple things and then it doesn't work. Yeah, so give me 1 second. Go to my channel. I'm gonna go to live because people are probably over there and like what's happening. Okay, let's see. Oh, I can't even find myself. Let's see. I don't even understand. So is this the new link? Thank you, Chelsea. Shout out to Chelsea. You on here? Thank you. I'm trying to be cute. Oh yeah, this is it. Copy. Okay. Give me like 2 more minutes and then I'm gonna get the word out to everybody that there's a new link and then we're gonna start. So we are on chapter 8. We're on page 74, I believe. It's all about the benefits, baby. So what you're gonna do? I think let's see, page 74. That's where we're starting out today. It's all about the benefits. So thank you, Jim. I'm actually still at the hair salon. I just got my hair done for y'all, so I could be looking like something because it was like a little while. So drop if you already have questions, drop them in the chat. If you're new here, welcome. Let us know where you're joining us from in the chat. We have our regular attendees in the house. Hey, Errol, welcome back. Welcome back. That's my mentor on options. He is amazing. Check him out. And Jen also, they're going to be speaking at the All Black National Convention this weekend, which is digital. So Jen or Errol, if you want to drop the link in the chat, if people still want to join this weekend, definitely do that. And then, yes, I'm in my wellness corner, Jen. That's exactly where I'm at. Exactly. So please drop the link in the chat so people can learn more about the All Black National Convention digital. All right. So we're going to get started in a second. Like I said, I got to just let my folks know because I was having me some serious technical difficulties. Because, sometimes when you're not in your space, things do not work out. So let me know. Put a 1 in the chat if you're currently employed and put a 2 in the chat if you are a business owner. That's what I would love to know. Let me know. 1 in the chat if you're employed, 2 in the chat if you are a business owner, meaning you are responsible for your own benefits, because the benefit conversation is different for everyone depending on how you get paid or not, right? So let's see here, y'all. I'm like literally trying to figure out how to send the SMS. Here we go. Because guess what? I have all this stuff automated, but then when you got to do it manually, it's like, what do I have to do? Okay, so hello everyone. Here is the new link to the YouTube live. Okay. Oh, that did not work. Oh, that did not work at all, you guys. Okay. You know what? I'm just going to let it go because if people are meant to be here prayerfully, no, but you know what's so funny, y'all? When these links don't work, believe me, I was like, my friends, I love you all. Y'all like, look, these links are not working. Like, what is going on? Like, so I like to give people the proper links because, you know, I don't want people being like, excuse me, I'm trying to support you and it's not working. So that's why I'm so anal about things working properly. So that's, you know, that's just who I am. Okay, now I won't do it. Jen, is that link that you text out? Is that the link for right now? Okay, yeah, it is. Okay, here we go. Copy and we're gonna paste. Okay, y'all. All right. There we go. Yes, please send. Send. No, it won't send. Ah. All right. Okay, here we go. We're gonna start it now. Maybe it'll send. No, it still won't send. Okay, I confirm. There we go. All right. We got it done. We got it out. People have it. All right, welcome. I'm just trying so hard. Okay, so we got, hey, thanks, welcome. So we got some ones, we have some twos, so we have a combination in the room. Okay, got it. All right, so let's get started. We're on page 74. If you don't have the book, that is okay. I'm going to read to you. So the key thing about your benefits is you want to understand what you have. If you let me know in the chat for some of you, what are some of the benefits that you have that are non-negotiable? Like you're always going to have them no matter what. Let me know in the chat. So we're going to do an activity. So on page 76, there is a benefits chart. So if you have the book, you want to get, hey, Kathleen, welcome. You want to get that page out. Page 76 is the benefits chart. So this actually has some different type of benefits that you may actually already have or are planning to get. Especially if you're self-employed like myself, you still want to have some of these things in place, right? And sometimes, you know, they are costly, but it's better to be insured than not. Okay. Jen is talking about nothing but dying and paying taxes. Listen, and let's try to minimize those taxes, Jen. Okay, let's do that. So we're going to do an activity. So the first thing I want you to do is either grab your benefit summary if you can, or make a note to grab it, or grab a pay stub. And for those of us who are self-employed, we probably just kind of know what we have. So the first thing I want you to do, if you don't, hey, Marty, welcome. If you don't have your pay stub handy or your benefit summary, please put that in your calendar to go ahead and get that, because I want you to make sure you understand what your benefits are, what you're paying for, and also how it's working on your behalf or not. Because sometimes you think you have one thing and it's not exactly what you thought. So the first thing I want you to do is to document how you get paid. So even as business owners, we are supposed to, just to make it clean for taxes, pay yourself at a regular cadence. So you might pay yourself either weekly, bi-weekly, semi-monthly, or monthly. Okay, so that's the first thing I want you to determine. How often do you get paid? Okay, so I'll repeat that. Do you get paid weekly, bi-weekly, so that's every 2 weeks, semi-monthly, that's twice a month, or monthly, or something else? Okay, but normally those are the ways that you get paid, right? The next thing I want you to do, if you have the book, you're going to go to page 76 and you're going to circle the benefits you have. So I'll list them out. You can write it down on a piece of paper. The first type of benefit is medical insurance, then vision insurance, dental, life, short-term disability, long-term disability. I just want to make a note here. We talked about disability, I believe, last week. Week before last, which was chapter 6. So if you want to learn more about that, how the difference between short-term, long-term disability, but also there's something called long-term care. So if you have long-term care, you want to list that as well. And long-term care is a type of insurance that if you can't perform 6 activities of daily living, 2 out of 6, I should say, for a period of 90 days or more, you're considered to need long-term care, whether that's an in-home care, like a nurse, or if you need to go to a facility. And that is different from long-term disability. So that is something, because I keep hearing people kind of use those two terms interchangeably. That is not the same thing, because you could be long-term disabled, but you can still perform activities of daily living. So that's important to distinguish if you have all of it, to know which ones work in which capacity. Yes, excellent. I'm glad you made it, Deborah, because it was a struggle, girl. Sometimes technology is not on our side. Okay. The next thing I want you to do, if you don't have the book, you're going to write down what type of retirement plan do you have? Do you have a pension? Do you have a 401k, a 403b? Do you have a Roth IRA, a traditional IRA, defined benefit plan? What do you have? Right? You can have a combination of those things. You may not have any of those things. You might have something else that you use to save for retirement. So I want you to write that down. What type of retirement plan do you have? Okay. You might have a 457, there's all kind of split profit plans and things of that nature. And then if you have any other benefits, like maybe you have some supplemental benefits. So maybe you have like Aflac or Colonial or something like that. So that's the next thing I want you to do. So far, number one, because we're doing our life work together tonight, because I want you to do that. Okay. All right. You're writing down how often you get paid. And even if you're retired, you still get paid. You might have, your pension that comes in, or Social Security, right? How often you get paid. Number two, what type of benefits do you have? You can write them down on a piece of paper. You do not have to have the book. I recommend it because then you can have everything in one place. Plus, if you have the book on page 27, all the worksheets are there as a fillable PDF if you scan that QR code. Then I want you to jot down how much money is going towards each benefit. So, for example, for me, I have a long-term disability policy. Okay. And my long-term disability policy, I know I pay $60.92 a month, right? I also know how much benefit I get if I was to become disabled. And I know whether or not, so that will cover my basic living expenses. So that's really important to know. All right. So, okay, excellent, Kathleen. So the last thing I want you to do here is for the monthly total, I'm reading on page 75. You're going to multiply how much you pay per paycheck times the number of paychecks you receive every month. So Jen is asking in the chat, do I use Aflac? Absolutely. I am an Aflac policy holder as well as an Aflac benefits consultant. So I help small businesses get Aflac set up as well. So that is definitely something that I do. Oh, and while I'm thinking about it, there is a QR code here at the top. Last week it was not working. I did not know. It was a color issue with the website. So it is now working. So if you do want to have a consultation, you can scan that QR code and do a complimentary consultation. It is now working. All right, so we are moving on. So everybody got that so far. So even if you just want to write it on a piece of paper, you want to make sure that you have how much you get paid, how often, what type of benefits you have, include your contribution per paycheck to the benefit, and then you're going to multiply how much you pay per paycheck times the number of paychecks. So this is how you know how much you are contributing. Okay, so let me repeat that. So Jen is asking the formula. So the formula is, let's say, for example, let's pretend I had a paycheck. And my disability policy, let's say for easy math, is $30 per paycheck. Let's say I get paid twice a month, and each time $30 comes out of my paycheck. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply 30 times. I say I get 24 paychecks in a year. I'm going to multiply 30 times 24, and that is my cost that's my contribution to that particular benefit. Okay. So hopefully that made sense to everybody. I'm going to say it one more time, slower. let's say I'm paying for X benefit. I'm paying $30 per paycheck. I get 2 paychecks a month. That means semi-monthly. That means I get 24 paychecks in a year. So what I'm going to do is multiply $30 that I pay for per paycheck times 24 paychecks. That's my yearly contribution. Okay. And you'll do that for each benefit because you want to know how much money are you putting into this, right? And for some things, you want to make sure you're getting a benefit. Okay. So moving on, we're on page 74, 77. So last week week before last, we talked about income protection, which is disability. But remember, we also talked about some of them are basically, you might be paying 60%. They might be telling you you're going to get 60%, but if they're taking your money out pre-tax, that money hasn't been taxed. So that means your benefit is taxed. But if they're taking the money out post-tax, which is what you want for your disability. So please note this down. If you have disability through an employer, you want it to be taken out post-tax. So if you ever become disabled and need to collect the benefit, you can therefore do that. Okay. There we go. Okay. So you will leave a link in the description. Okay. Let me I can give you the link in the chat for now. And then one day I will have my operations manager put it in the show notes for y'all. Okay, so let's get you all the link just in case. That is very good because I know myself and I will forget later. So I always have to address your questions at that very moment. Okay, so here, so the QR code is to book a complimentary call. It's going to ask you some questions about your situation and, kind of where you are. And then you'll get an email from me, which explains kind of where you may be in your financial process. And then I'll help you and go from there. You can book a call. So there's, hopefully there's the link right there. Hopefully that works. So thank you, Jen. Yeah, it is a lot of math. Jen said that's a lot of math to do all her deductions. The only deductions I want you to do is just your benefits. But also you do want to do your retirement accounts. Yeah. And if it's a lot of deductions, maybe you want to question, what are all these deductions what you really want? Because sometimes you want to change some deductions. So that's important for you to know, where's your money going and what are you spending it on? And do you have a need for that right now? Okay. So going back to the conversation we were having with the disability, if you're going to get taxed on the benefit, and let's just say you end up with less than 50% of your paycheck, what you do want to ask yourself is, can you live off of 50% of your salary if that's what you end up getting after taxes? That is really important for you to know. And you may want to switch, if you can, from the deduction being pre-tax to post-tax. It's something important. The second thing we want to talk about, we're still on the bottom of page, I believe this is 76, because like I told y'all, my copy doesn't have numbers in it. Because I was like, no, I don't need numbers because, only people who actually have my book. We're on 77, I'm sorry. So if you have supplemental benefits like Aflac or Colonial, you want to confirm whether your benefits are portable or not. Okay, you're welcome. What does portable mean? Portable means, can you take it with you once you leave that employer? So I took all my Aflac policies with me because let me tell you why. When you get your benefits through an employer, you get a group discount. So if as much as you can, even if you switch employers and you could take your policies with you, you don't have to restart the process. You don't have to worry about requalifying, and you lock in the group discount. Okay, so that's important for you to know and important for you to ask. So here's some questions that you should find out. Number one, which are supplemental benefits. So supplemental benefits, can anybody put in the chat for me what you think supplemental benefits are? Does anybody know before I go too deep into it? Okay, so the questions you want to ask about your supplemental benefits are, one, what's covered? Okay, so I know some of my clients have a hard time understanding that supplemental insurance doesn't work the same way as medical insurance. That's not how it is. So with Aflac, they pay policyholders directly. Great question, Kathleen. So COBRA is for people, like, basically when you leave employment, and I believe you can still get COBRA even if you don't leave employment. When you leave employment, they send you a letter in the mail saying that your medical insurance is going to terminate. And if you want to keep some type of medical coverage, then you can do so through COBRA. And it's usually quite expensive. So that's what basically a quick way to explain what COBRA is. I've never personally signed up for it or used it or know anyone that had. Well, I know one client that has COBRA, and she was like, it is so expensive. So it's a very expensive alternative to maintain medical insurance when you separate from an employer. Okay. So let me tell you what supplemental is really quick, high level overview. High level, I can speak for Aflac. I cannot speak for Colonial. So it's things like accident, cancer, critical illness, hospital coverage, short-term disability, and supplemental medical and supplemental dental and vision. Okay. So like, for example, with Aflac pays policyholders directly, not hospitals, not doctors, right? The supplemental version. But when you have medical insurance, right, like traditional medical insurance, they pay the doctors and the hospitals directly, not you, right? You pay your copay if you have one, deductibles, etc. But with supplemental, they pay you. So then you can pay off whatever you need to. Like, for example, I went to the dentist because the way my plan is set up, even though I paid $45 for my copay, Aflac reimburses me $50 because that is the contract that I have with Aflac in terms of my supplemental dental insurance. So they don't care how much you pay for it. They are like, we're going to give you this amount for this particular incident, and that's how much you're going to get, whether you spent that money or not. So I made $5. So it worked out great. Okay. The second thing you want to ask is who is covered. So for all your coverages, you want to find out, is it you only, your spouse, your children, etc. And then the next thing is, how are your claims paid? Okay. Are they paid directly to you? Do they go to a doctor? Do they go to a dentist? How does that work? And then I believe this is the last part. Second to last part is health savings accounts. Okay. So a health savings account can provide tax benefits. I believe this is the account where you can actually do investments in. And you can use this money to, if you have a high deductible plan, because a lot of my clients have these high deductible medical insurance plans, you can actually use that to pay, anything medical related. Of course, there's stipulations. You do need to know what they are, because some of them let you do like alternative medicines and some don't. Okay. Any questions so far? So thank y'all for asking questions throughout. I know this is like not the most fun and sexy topic, but you need to understand, because you're spending your money on this. And sometimes you don't even need the thing you're spending your money on anymore, because you have it like on autopilot. So sometimes every now and then, especially if you're self-employed, you also need to do an audit and figure out, like, is this still what I need? Okay, let's keep on going, because I know it's almost time for Dr. Boyce. All right, so we're on the page that says what happens when you leave your employer. So what a lot of people don't understand or don't know until they retire or fired or they leave is that their life insurance is gone. So what if you retire at 65? You had, three times your salary, maybe $200,000-$300,000 in coverage. You leave your employer, you no longer have this $300,000 in coverage. Now you want the same amount of coverage, but you're 65. You think it's going to be expensive or affordable? Let me know in the chat. Let me know. This chat is quiet, y'all. You know I live for the chat. What is going to happen? Let me know. You're 65. You want that same $200,000-$300,000 coverage that you were paying $20 a paycheck for. Is it more affordable or is it more expensive? Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Jen. I think everybody went to sleep because we're talking about benefits. Thank you, Marty. I was like, I think everybody went to bed on me now. I know this is not the most fun, but you got to understand this, y'all. So the link is in the chat, Deborah. You just have to scroll up. It's right here. You have to just scroll up, okay? Thank you, Jen. I appreciate it. Oh, and Deborah, I text you the link already. You have it. Hella more. Thank you, Errol. Tell the people. This is why you have to understand now. People want to bury their head in the sand. I'm not gonna go in my soapbox. Let me keep on because Dr. Boyce is starting in 2 minutes. Okay. So one thing I want you to do as your life work is I want you to figure out if any of your benefits are portable if you have an employer, or if you can keep them when you retire, basically. Now, if you're self-employed like myself, okay, so there's a couple things that if you need health insurance, affordable health insurance, I do have a partner that does health insurance. You can also have supplemental benefits without an employer as well. If you have a small business with 3 or more employees, I can also assist you with getting supplemental benefits for your company. So that's something important for you all to know. And the only thing here is I think we pretty much covered everything. So any last minute questions? We got 1 minute left, but I know this is not the most fun topic to talk about. But again, my main thing I want you to know is what you have, how much you're paying for it. Is it doing what you expect it to do? And do you need to make any changes? Okay. That's the most important thing I can emphasize for you all tonight. So I hope this was helpful for you. Just to kind of some of you may do this on a regular basis. Like I know I look at my stuff all the time and reevaluate and everything. But if you haven't reevaluated in a while, or even with your deductions on your retirement accounts, right? Is it in your best interest to max it out in that way, right? Because a lot of us, if you're going into a regular 401k, that money is tax deferred. And if most of your money is tax deferred and taxes historically go up over time, you don't have a tax diversification strategy. So this is why you want to think about this stuff now, because I know I don't want all my retirement money to be taxed. Okay. Yes, we need a benefits and deductions day. Yes, we do. Absolutely, Jen. Because, girl, I had mine. I had met with my financial planner. I have accountability too, y'all. I have a financial planner. Don't get it twisted. And I went through every single number backwards and forwards, and my husband's. Okay. And so we are on track for retirement in 4 years. Four. And that is what's going to be happening. All right. So thank y'all for coming tonight. God willing, I'll see you next week. I'll let you know because I am traveling to Phoenix. So if I can't come on next week, then we'll return the following week. But next week is all about retirement, work optional lifestyle planning, because I want to be a free Black woman, just like Errol is a free Black man. All right, y'all. Have a good night. Yes, Jen, 5 more years to retirement. Thanks for coming, everybody. Bye.